Here they are now, Jango.
All right, man, what a week. We've been all over the place, and I just got back with a bunch of amazing guitars. When it rains, it pours. I literally was on my way to go drop these off at the shop, and I got a call from a guy with the coolest story. Picked up Ken, you're coming along with us in real time, so we're gonna drop the stuff off and get back on the road, non-stop.
Cooking is best in town. Everybody is talking round. If it's so, I'm coming to town. I'll let you turn my temper down. Got anything you better say it. Got anything you better say it. Got anything you better say it, baby. I might need it someday. You roll your song down.
Watch the car?
Yeah.
Lots of this falls.
Say it. Got anything you better say it. Got anything you better say it, baby. I might need it someday.
All right, dropped off yesterday's loot. Time to go pick up some more. So we are half an hour out from Camano Island, Washington, about an hour or so outside of Seattle. And yeah, we're chasing a Dumble amplifier. I got a call from a guy who has his very special Dumble that he's had for like 50 plus years and been playing it for that long. And it's time to sell, it's time to move it. He's getting old, and he wants to see his thing get passed on, and found out about us, and that's why we're here. For those of you who don't know, Dumbles are the top of the mountain, holy grail, undefeated vintage amplifier or boutique amplifier. Howard Alexander Dumble, who is the builder, he's born in Bakersfield, California. We were just there, but he had a shop in Santa Cruz. His grandfather was a musician who had like a 20-piece band, he said, and his father was an engineer who actually invented the first automatic transmission. So those two brains together created the mastermind of boutique amplifiers. It kind of takes what the musician or the music suggests, and they're fine-tuned with the highest components, hand-built so thoughtfully to reproduce basically the truest sound of the musician and the style that they're playing. There's nothing else like them. You know, you have Trainwrecks and Jim Kelly, and I'm telling you from experience, there's nothing like them. The sound, you know, I can best describe it as the perfect saturation. It's so musical, it's so smooth. And then the clean tones, like Stevie Ray Vaughan or John Mayer or Robin Ford, they're just like this insane, it's almost like a Fender on steroids. It's got the most amazing cleans, the most amazing headroom, and this strength behind it. If you ever have an opportunity to play one, if you know somebody with them, go make the drive and beg them to let you plug in, because there's nothing that compares. So anyways, we are blown away that there's one an hour away from the shop. That doesn't really happen. So we jumped in the car real quick, and I'm so excited for you guys to hear the kind of background on this specific amp. The story just like blew my mind.
Hello.
Hey buddy, just giving you a heads up. We're about 5 minutes away. We'll be pulling in, okay?
Okay, man.
Okay, boy. Johnathan! Here, man, come on.
Yeah, it's kind of a Washington kind of a day.
Yeah, man. Good to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, Ken.
Hey, Ken,
Nice to meet you,
man. What a freaking great story, man. It'd be fun to dig into it, but...
Yeah, sure. I just been sitting here drinking some beer. You want one?
How long you been out here, man?
About 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
The beach is like a mile and a half down the hill.
Is that the old banjo?
Yeah, this is. I've got another banjo, a Deering, you know, that I play well with, but this is a.
So which one had the Barkus Berry in it?
This one did.
Cool.
The Barkus Berry right under the bridge. Then I had a big magnetic pickup under the head there.
Yeah.
I still have the parts. There's a Stelling pickup under there right now. Here's the plug-in right there.
It's a cool old sign with it.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Could you hang that? Would you want that hanging in your store?
Hell yeah.
What to bring along to a sing-along? Tune up your voice, Gav's gonna pick up some Olympia.
I love it, man.
Isn't that cool?
Is it all like a
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so cool.
Take it when you go.
You bet, dude. I love that stuff. Anything old.
Yeah.
All right, so here she is.
Yeah. It's a 1965
Yep.
Fender Super Reverb blackface. Of course, you can see that. And it's got 4 brand new Eminence speakers.
Okay.
And just brand spanking new in the back. I've got the original speakers and cartons right there.
Okay.
The old Jensen, it's a mishmash of, it's weird. So Howard, in 1973, I heard about him from a friend of mine. We all lived in Santa Cruz. And took my amp over to his little shop on East Cliff Drive, about 6 blocks from where I lived. And I said, hey man, I'm trying to get this sound, you know. He said, yeah, I saw you playing slide the other day. And back in those days, they didn't mic the amps on stage. And or if they did, it was a real expensive high-end kind of thing. So we had to be loud.
Yeah. Well, PA systems weren't that great in general, so you had to be loud.
Yeah. He beefed it up from 35 watts to, it's got 80 watts, totally clean, beautiful, clean channel I use on that first channel there. And then 100 watts distortion, or 108, I think, when you got the distortion going. The tremolo, the vibrato, they call it, tremolo, he took the intensity tremolo and he moved it to the back. And this is a master volume and it's like a 500 amp capacitor. So clean sound, you got all the way up there, it's clean.
Yeah.
Turn it down, you get all kinds of different tones, you know, the mid and the bass. It's just and then it's got this great spring reverb.
Cool. So you were playing electric banjo in a funk band.
Yeah, slide banjo.
Slide banjo.
And then I was playing, you know, we did a combination of bluegrass, funk, reggae. This is back in the 70s. I mean, nobody ever sounded like us before or since.
I know.
It was a big 7-piece band. We opened for John Denver at the Cow Palace, you know, 17,000 people in 75. Doobie Brothers.
And what was the group called?
It's called Jango. See, I still have the name right there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when
Did
Howard,
you put that on, or did Howard put that on?
I think Howard put that on there, just to label it.
I've seen Dumbles where it says Dumble on it in that same kind of strip, but he put the band name on it, huh?
Yeah, he put the band name there just a bit, because he had a couple other Super Reverbs he wanted to keep them in.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, Howard must have been intrigued by you playing slide electric banjo in a funk
and I wanted
band.
to sound like David Lindley playing slide.
He probably went, huh, this is a good task. Let's see what we can do.
Figure this one out, yeah. So you can see it's got the new Eminence speakers. It's got the original foot pedal for
I'm gonna peek
for
down there and
the
see.
reverb.
Oh boy, yeah.
I've got
Cool.
a bunch of pictures on that I can send to you of this thing taken out and all the circuits.
Yeah.
You notice how
all day. It's not a.
these are set back from those are the original holes, because with these two other tubes, a larger transformer, he had to move it back.
Huh.
I've got here's some paperwork on. I had no idea Dumble was that hot until about 5 or 6 years ago. You know, I mean,
Yeah, man.
I went along playing through his amp. This is a picture of what. So this is a larger transformer. He cut out the metal down in here and stuck this in and put. Usually they only had 3 here, and he put 2. I call them power tubes. There's output tubes, and then beefed it up kind of like a twin.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I was wondering, did he goop? Probably too early.
He didn't goop anything.
Which is great.
Yeah.
You can work
it's
on
all
that.
it's all bare.
Yeah.
It's all
very cool.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm excited to check it out. Wow.
Yeah.
That's you right there?
Yeah, when I had hair.
Oh my gosh, man.
This is my brother on lead guitar there. This is up at the Chateau Liberté in Santa Cruz Mountains where the Doobie Brothers first started rehearsing. My brother gave Pat Simmons and the Doobie Brothers 2 guitar lessons because he was in a folk duo called Pat Simmons and Joe Speed when I first met him, the wine cellar in Los Gatos. And my
You're
brother
badass, dude. Look at that mustache, brother.
Shit, I'm almost 80 now.
Are you, man?
I'm 70. I'll be 78 next month. Hot Rod Annie, she's a 6 foot tall from Brooklyn, incredible electric violin fiddle player.
Hot Rod Annie.
This is at the old Catalyst in Santa Cruz. You talk to anybody about the old music scene in Santa Cruz, oh, you played the old Catalyst. Neil Young showed up one night and paid us to get our shit off the stage like when Crazy Horse could play unannounced, you know, so he could just like play without this big
Paid you to get off the stage.
Oh yeah. when we were setting up, I wasn't there yet, and our bass player was sitting on stage, and he felt a tap on his shoulder, and he turned around, he goes, yeah, and the guy goes, how much you guys getting paid tonight? He said, oh, $500. And this guy starts putting money, he looks up, it's Neil Young, paying him to get our shit off the stage.
Wow.
On the
God, that's a great shot, man.
That's
Man, look at these.
yeah,
That's the
our
look right
drummers, call him Zach Baz.
Old Showbud t-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, this is Planet X. That was my backyard. The Burning Man came and fucked it up. Excuse me.
No, no good.
You know, I moved out there in '77 after the band broke up. This is our pedal steel player.
Wow.
We have pedal steel, electric violin, 2 electric guitars, electric banjo, bass and drums. It was a 7-piece.
What was her name? Hot Rod Annie?
Annie Steinhardt, Hot Rod Annie.
So there's the banjo.
Yeah.
Is that banjo right
Yep.
there? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
man. Yeah.
We were making, you know, one of the houses I was renting is like right on the sand for $125 a month, right on the beach. You know, about a quarter mile from my favorite surf spot. So I was playing. We started out 5 gigs a week. We were making so much money. We just had 3 gigs a week, 2 days rehearsing, and the other 2 days go surfing. It was.
Man,
I knew it was
what a
heaven, and I
life.
knew it couldn't last very long. But Santa Cruz back then was just a great place. Ooh, I'm cold.
dude.
You know, back in the days, I just pick up bands and start playing. Now it takes me a half hour to get warmed up. Sound, you know, I can play so fast back there.
Yeah.
A little piece of pie and a little piece of pudding. I'd get them all up for sweet little Sally Gooden. A caterpillar sitting on a sweet potato vine. Along come the rooster going, hey, mama, you're mine.
Banjo. My brother comes in. See, back then you could do anything, man. As long as you were good, you know, you could experiment around with shit, you know.
Yeah.
Move up here and you get classified. Oh, he plays grunge. Oh, this is a country band. Oh, this is, you know. Back there, you could play it all, you know. You weren't classified as one thing.
Yeah, man, that makes sense.
So we experimented a lot. I was born in Lima, Peru. Soy peruano. I learned how to swim in the Amazon River when I was 3 years old. I lived in the jungles when I was a kid. No shoes, shorts, a t-shirt, no machete, running around trying to find snakes we could chop in half. Now this is the old Amazon jungle with the 200-foot tall trees everywhere. Now they've all been cut down. I got a 6-foot dugout canoe when I was 6 years old. My mother says, hey, just get back before it gets too dark. And we're out there. This is like out there. Eastern Peru, Brazil border area. My parents were linguists, Summer Institute of Linguistics. Started clinics out in the Amazon. My dad was born in Seattle. My mother was born in San Francisco. I was conceived in Oaxaca, Mexico, and born 3 months after she got to Peru. So I'm, where am I from? The only Peruvian banjo player I ever met. My mother forced us to take music lessons. First violin when I was like 6, then probably 5 years of piano, and then I heard rock and roll in 1950s. Heard a rock around the clock on this old jukebox there, man. The old Que Bueno, this is 1956. Wow, what is that, you know? Turned us right upside down. Yeah. It's like, what is it about that? Anyway, so we'd come back to the States. My grandfather got me a ukulele and went back down south of my brother started playing a Colombian tiple, which is like it's an 8-string thing, kind of like mandolin crossed between a 12-string guitar. It had sympathetic strings. And we started playing to Kingston Trio records. It was like 57, 58, 59. And getting whatever rock and roll we could over a shortwave radio. Moved to the US when I was 16, the summer of '63, and saw Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs and Bill Monroe on Hootenanny, and that banjo playing and the bluegrass sound. I went, man, this is as close to rock you can get without having to have a drummer, you know? We hated folk music after that. And it had to be bluegrass, man. It had to be boom, in your face, you know, loud and hard. We started playing bluegrass in the Bay Area, Los Gatos. And then we had a jug band when I started going to college, trying to stay out of the Vietnam War. After I graduated college, my brother and I, our little families moved over to Santa Cruz. Well, we went up to Berkeley one night, my brother Dave, and saw Commander Cody and the Lost Planet at this bar. And I said, Davey, man, we gotta get a band like this, man. Let's plug in, you know. We'd had a band at that time called Mountain Folk. We decided to plug ourselves in. We got a drummer, a bass player, and then Annie showed up, you know, heard us playing on the street, just jamming, and she was a professor at UC Santa Cruz, had a PhD in Italian literature, and she had quit that and became a topless dancer in Oakland and wrote a book about it, made a bestseller on the Playboy Book Club list called Thunder La Boom. You can still get it. Anyway, she wanted to be in our band, and this hippie electronic craftsman guy, he fashioned me a big, which I still have, a big brass mute that put on the bridge. Takes all the resonance out of it completely. Large magnet pickup under the head, then a Barkus Berry under the bridge. And with that mute on, you can do like pedal steel licks and stuff, you know, and you can stretch, you know, and sustain and all that stuff. That's when I started doing slide. And then found out that there was this guy that worked on amps, and he just did David Lindley's Jackson Brown's amp. This guy told me about Howard Dumble, you know, he was just a local hippie guy that worked on stuff. He'd heard me play somewhere, and it interested him, slide banjo. And so he beefed up this amp for me, put a bunch of work into it, and he got a message to me that it was ready, and I went down and I plugged everything in his little work spot. It was right on the beach. But he actually gave me a couple of patch cords. I think this one he made for me right here. The Dumble patch cord from It's worked ever since. The only one, you know. That all happened in 1973, the late 73, like the fall. He's a big guy with these brown leather pants and long hair. He looked like a leprechaun, you know, a giant leprechaun. He was really nice, real pleasant, real interested in everything, you know. I'd never heard of him, and nobody I knew really had heard of him, just that he was an electronics guy, you know, in a little shop. That was it. Then I found out later, you know, in these days, reading his biography, right out of high school, they got the Ventures. Oh my God, you know, at 18. I've been playing through this amp for approximately 50 years. Started playing it in 72. Dumble worked on it in 73. This has been out on a flatbed truck with our own little generator, right where the Burning Man is now. This is like 78, 79, you know, playing to the moon. You know, smoking reefers, mushrooms, man. And, you know, just having a blast. Nobody knew about that place then. You know, it was my backyard. We started going up this little hill. We were going to a gig in this Econoline van. And this was in the back, and the doors kind of popped open, and this fell out. It was doing about 10 miles an hour. Ka-chunk, 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 and it rounded off these corners on this. Got to the gig, plugged it in, worked perfect. I'd like this to be used, because the music I'm involved in right now, this is way too big an amp for any room in this area. And it needs somebody, you know, with a good Strat or a Steel or something to, you know, to really get the use out of it, and it needs to be played. It needs to be played. It feels good when it's been played. Crank the gain up to 10, put the master down to 2, and then sometimes I would use a signal booster, and then that would just make it scream. The windows rattle, you know, the windows rattle.
All right, well, Johnathan said to bring a Strat so I could check out this amplifier, so I brought my trusty 61.
The banjo off here.
That recording that's priceless, man. Johnathan, who's an absolute legend, man. His stories are so cool, and his legacy with this amp we're gonna keep alive. And we also got this cool old vintage Electro-Harmonix booster and a Dumble-made cable. Who has one of those, right? But yeah, this thing, as he said, is okay. We're gonna scoot this. Whoo! Come on, Dumble. He's a big boy. I think he expected everybody else to be able to lift this shit. Oh, okay. That is a Dumble. You can feel it. Oh my God. Oh man. Man, I made a good new friend out here, and we had an awesome time talking about, I guess, the old days, and took me to another time, man. And I appreciate you passing this on, and we're gonna find somebody to appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Take good care of my baby.
I will, man. I want to keep it. Crazy.
To sit here and play all afternoon.